What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put it on all so you get notified whenever we drop new content on the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. So yesterday we had Artur Beterbiev versus Joe Smith Jr. for 3 out of the 4 alphabet titles. The other one, of course, is with Dmitry Bivol, the other champion in the division. So this was a light heavyweight unification bout, very important fight, one that I was looking forward to greatly. And it was one of those where I kind of, in my preview video, I was thinking it was gonna go a little bit late. You know, I was thinking it would be a fight that would go maybe back and forth for a little bit, you know, mid-rounds, late rounds, something like that. But it was a complete and utter opposite, as Artur Beterbiev basically destroyed Joe Smith Jr. rather easily, dispatched of him quite easily. The way this fight opened up was Joe Smith Jr. came in on the front foot, you know, all guns blazing. He got behind a good jab. He was able to successfully push Artur Beterbiev back. And for me, that seems like a good thing to do. You know, Smith is a guy that mauls. He's a guy that is a bit of a brawler, big, strong, tough guy. So he likes to fight. He likes to come forward. And, you know, that's what he done. First round, he comes forward, goes after Artur Beterbiev. And Beterbiev was quite happy. He gave up the center of the ring to Smith. He allowed Smith to take center ring. But the problem that Smith had was that Beterbiev was making him pay for every single miss that he made. And you could just tell that even when Smith put his guard up, you know, those shots of Artur Beterbiev were just getting through, and you could tell they kind of shook him up a bit. You know, they really did shift him. Whenever Beterbiev would hit him, even early in that first round, you could just see the power of Artur Beterbiev. And of course, as the round went on, Smith continued to come forward, press the action. He did land a good few of his shots, but you could just see there was some skills and a bit of slickness coming from Artur Beterbiev, who was able to sort of adjust and make Smith miss and everything. And, you know, the fact of him being on a back foot and having to move didn't bother Beterbiev at all. He just adjusted to that, worked well, countered, and every counter pretty much from Beterbiev was just utterly lethal. You know, every one of the counters is hard, powerful shots. And the dangerous thing with Beterbiev is that even when you put him under pressure, you put him on the back foot, he's still dangerous. He can still hit you and he can still hurt you and take you out. And, you know, that's exactly what happened here. Towards the end of the first round, you know, it was a little bit back and forth, but you could see who was in control. It was Beterbiev, the accuracy and the power shots, and he managed to put Smith down towards the end of round one. Even, you know, it was sort of a behind the head shot, sort of back of the head, that sort of area, you know, really put Smith down and hurt him. And there was a period before that where you know, Smith went down, but it was more of a slip. But you could see who had more power here, because both guys hit hard, but you could see that somebody hit harder, and that was Artur Beterbiev. So we come into the second and what turned out to be the final round. And Joe Smith Jr., in spite of being hurt in the previous round, he makes no adjustments. He doesn't attempt to do anything different. He doesn't try to move. He doesn't try to hold Artur Beterbiev. You know, it just seems like, as other people mentioned, I think Hatman Strut, he was mentioning that it was just like a kamikaze mission, and that's what it was. Because Smith, in spite of being hurt, being put down in the first round, didn't let that deter him. Just came in with exactly the same game plan again, coming forward, trying to put it on Beterbiev. And again, he's just taking counter after counter after counter. And these counters, they're not pity pat shots, they're powerful shots, hooks, uppercut. Like Beterbiev's really, sticking it to him. And, in the end, it ended up being another 2 knockdowns now in the second round. Beterbiev puts him down twice, again off of the back foot, off of the counter, and then again, Smith gets up and he just doesn't make any changes. Smith, he just keeps coming in, keeps trying to come forward all the time, and he keeps getting clocked and keeps getting hit. And then eventually it ends in the second round where he suffers 2 knockdowns, and then, he, to his credit, gets to his feet, but then he gets up and then he gets wobbled again in the second round, and that's it. The ref has to wave it off because Smith was just all over the place, and he couldn't do anything there. He just, that was it. And this was one of them fights where the power, the punching power was a major factor, was the deciding factor, but I think also, in my view, adaptability and ring IQ was kind of the other factor in this fight, because you had one guy in Beterbiev, both of them like to come forward, but one guy was able to adjust, he was able to adapt, he was able to even though it wasn't centering, he was able to adapt, he was able to counter effectively, and he had that higher ring IQ and higher ring intelligence. And that, along with, of course, landing those powerful shots, is what won it for Artur Beterbiev. Simple as that. He had the boxing brain. Smith Jr., I don't know whether he could have done any better, but I know that he didn't adapt, he didn't adjust to what was going on in the ring. It was just simply, I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. And they say it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again, failing at it, and then you keep trying it over and over again. They say that's insanity, and that's what Smith was doing. Okay, fair enough. Maybe he wouldn't have won anyway, but it wouldn't have hurt for him to at least try something different. What he was doing in the first round didn't work. The second, try something different perhaps, and maybe, you might stand a little better chance. But anyway, it was another good KO win, an easy win for Artur Beterbiev. Very, very easy. Hardly had to break a sweat. And that's just my thoughts on it. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out.